Oxidation. Oxidation is a chemical reaction with oxygen. The most common product of oxidation is rusting, just like the color emphasized from the side. This happens when iron combines with oxygen in the presence of water. Rusting is commonly absent when a metal steel was exposed to the air. Iron elements inside would combine with oxygen in the environments, resulting in a chemical reaction of the color red. This signals that the oxidation process happened. Huge rock chemical weathering pertains to the changes in rock structure under the action or influence of chemical reactions. There are hundreds of natural chemical processes and reactions within the rocks that change the composition and the structure of the rocks over time. River carving a valley. As the flow of water from a river erodes the surface of the mountain, rocks are removed and carried downstream with the river. These rocks further aid in the erosion of the riverbed, forming a channel that becomes deeper over time. Over time, as the river cuts a deeper channel, a V-shaped valley is formed. Waves cutting back cliffs. A wave-cut platform, shore platform, coastal bench, or wave-cut cliff is the narrow, flat area often found at the base of a sea cliff or along the shoreline of a lake, bay, or sea that was created by erosion. Wave-cut platforms are often most obvious at low tide when they become visible as huge areas of flat rock. Sometimes the landward side of the platform is covered by sand, forming the beach, and then the platform can only be identified at low tides or when storms move the sand. Wind blowing topsoil. Wind erosion is a natural process that moves soil from one location to another by wind power. It can cause significant economic and environmental damage. Wind erosion can be caused by a light wind that rolls soil particles along the surface through to a strong wind that lifts a large volume of soil particles into the air to create dust storms. While wind erosion is most common in deserts and coastal sand dunes and beaches, certain land conditions will cause wind erosion in agricultural areas. So, it is wind that drives the erosion, but it's mainly the landscape and condition of the land which leads to the most damaging wind erosion. Glacier moving rocks. A rock glacier is a mass of rock, ice, snow, mud, and water that moves slowly down a mountain under the influence of gravity. The rock glacier might consist of a mass of ice covered by rock debris, or it might consist of a mass of rock with interstitial ice, a gradient of compositions between these. Unlike an ice glacier, rock glaciers usually have very little ice visible at the surface. If you are on the ground looking at one from a short distance away, it might not look at all like a glacier. The very slow movement, typically between a few centimeters and a few meters per year, also helps hide. Movement generally initiates in the ice in the lower parts of the rock glacier. The rocks on the surface of the rock glacier then adjust to that movement. This sometimes results in ridges or flow features on the surface of the rock glacier. They often begin in a cirque or at the edge of a large talus slope, conform to the shape of their valley, and have a tongue-shaped end. Arcuate ridges are often present behind the tongue, and linear ridges sometimes parallel the valley wall. These ridges are hints that moving ice is present below. Rock glaciers are typically small. A large rock glacier might be 50 meters thick and a few kilometers in length. The rocks on the surface of a rock glacier can be almost any size depending upon their source of supply. Landslide. A landslide is defined as the movement of a mass of rock, debris, or earth down a slope. Landslides are a type of mass wasting, which denotes any downslope movement of soil and rock under the direct influence of gravity.